This is just me, okay? You do you, and others may disagree, but I absolutely hate that. I hate it with a passion. I think it's just total tomfoolery. Let's let the 80s die. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, this is Adam Winch here with Defenders USA. Let me talk about ready positions. So in the gun world, right, you see a lot of times where if you're facing a target, let's say you're the target, of course, orange gun here, or dumb gun, oftentimes you see people that'll have a ready position that's here, right? They just drive out and shoot, and what I would call the high compress ready. Okay, then you have the low compress ready. This is something I did as a cop, where oftentimes the low compress ready, so if you have to go out and shoot, it's just simply come up and shoot. Then there's the low ready, where let's say that you, the camera, you're my bad guy, right? But I've got my gun out and I stay at the low ready, and notice my muzzle would be just below a foot or two or so, a couple inches, or at least several feet in front of the toes of the person I might need to shoot. I've got them at the low ready position. So if they get squirrely and you got to shoot them, it's just simply come up and shoot. Now, those are the three main ready positions that I use right there. And there's a time and a place for all of them. Now, there's other ready positions I use, but there's those. One of the other positions I see, right, is somewhat of ready position, but it's usually after shooting. And it was something that I was taught as a young soldier in the military police academy, and then I was taught it in the police academy also. And it was something I saw done as a cop over and over and over. And there's a bunch of large training schools, I'm not gonna name any names, there's a bunch of large training schools that still do this next one. It's something I advocate against completely. I think there might be a rare time and a place, but it's rare, okay, for me. And it's this: when people they come out and they go bang, 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 bang on the target, they finish shooting what they're doing, and then they come down to more of what's the low ready, and then they do the scan and assess like this, right? Basically, their eyes and gun are almost one, and they kind of turn, they do this number, right? And I see it all the time, especially if I see people who've gone to the schools where things are still stuck in the 80s or whatever, right? They come down and they do this stuff right here. They scan, swinging their arms around like this. Now, this is just me, okay? You do you, and others may disagree, but I absolutely hate that. I hate it with a passion. I think it's just total tomfoolery, and I wish we could get this one to die in our world. There might be a time and a place, but it is rare, okay? Let me explain why, at least from my perspective, okay? When we come down here and do this, let's say you're my camera bad guy, and I've gone to the low ready position. That means I know you are possibly still a threat, or maybe I've brought the gun out and I'm trying to tell you, get back, get away, drop the machete, do something, and you're far enough away, maybe I don't need to shoot you, but I want a gun in hand. Okay, that's one thing. But if I've gone pop, 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 and finger off, and I've come down to the ready, and now I'm scanning for other threats and other bad guys out here, like this, notice the gun is far from my spine, okay? It's about the furthest distance it could possibly be when I swing this gun around. And if you've just used this gun in defensive life, you've probably had a massive adrenal dump, right? You probably have extreme muscular tension, right? Because you're afraid, or you're tense, you're scared, you're worried, you're something. I mean, you just had to use a gun. Or you've pulled it to where you think you have to. And believe me, you will have an adrenal dump from that too. I've been there, I know exactly what it's like, okay? So you're gonna be here like this, and when you're swinging around like this, okay, if Mr. Dirtbag's friend pops up over here, or bad guy pops up over there, or maybe they pop up in front of you, but you've swung around here, or you've swung around here and then they pop up over there and you see this, because that gun is over here, you race the gun to get there, or you race the gun to get there, and under extreme muscular tension and massive adrenal dump that's running through your system, oftentimes, I find, is people tend to overcorrect, and they tend to miss their target under speed, right? Or they tend to overcorrect because you're swinging it out here far from the pendulum, which is the spine, right? Because of that, I'm not a fan of it, right? I've seen it in training events and others where people go beyond under that extreme stress, and they start hammering the trigger and they miss, and then they got to walk their gun in, right? Or they're over here, whoa, and they do this, and they go boom, 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 and they got to walk it in. Therefore, it's a lot of wasted rounds, a lot of wasted time. Furthermore, those rounds that aren't directly on target, maybe it shoots Grandma good cookies in the face, and then no more good cookies, right? Or maybe it shoots little Susie in the face that's, I don't know, 200 yards down the road down there that you didn't intend to shoot. Little Susie, 7-year-old in a white dress, sitting on a grandma's swing on the back porch, right? So I'm not a fan of this swing. I get it, it's range kata. It's taught in all the bigger schools. Scan and assess, bull crap. Now, I want you to scan and assess, right? But not out here, not swinging this. Instead, I highly recommend, right? Highly recommend. If you've gone out and you've gone to boom, 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 when you're done, right? When you're done, finger off the trigger and maybe come into the high ready here, where you can look around this way without maybe turn a little bit, right? maybe here, but it's not the eyes and the gun's glued to itself, right? Or maybe at the low compress ready because of crowds, whatever else may be. You're down here because here's the deal. If Mr. Dirtbag pops up over there and I'm scanning this way and I see them, I can literally punch drive the gun with far more ease and accuracy than I can if I'm swinging the gun this way, okay? So bring that thing in. Or if it's a single target engagement, you know there's nobody else around, which is hard to tell you that will be real, okay? But you know there's nobody else there. Then fine, if you're still worried about Mr. Dirtbag, stay here, and right, because you're worried about that guy, but you're below the person's body somewhere, and maybe you're looking around with the eyes without swinging the gun. Just know if you stay out here and something else does pop up, you're probably going to swing and miss. So therefore, I'm a bigger fan, this is just me, of staying in closer for a ready position here, okay? Because if you need to use it, that punch drive, I would tell you, is far more accurate, far more efficient than the big swing. So this is just me. If I can get you to stop doing the scan and assess here, let's let the 80s die, right? This is not efficient, good movement, in my opinion. Now, I'm probably gonna get a lot of angry comments by people who still teach this or people who do this and you've learned it. I get it. It's what you learned. You're stuck to it. Just know I've used guns for real in America, on duty, cop, you name it, for a long time. And even I found sitting here doing this was a bad idea. Staying more here, okay? Conscious of where your muzzle is pointed, right? You got to be careful of people, right? You may need to thread the muzzle up or muzzle down as you scan, but keeping it close to the body allows you with much more accuracy to engage what you need to do, or at least see more efficiency, could I say it that way, with less swing. All right, so let's do something here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw this on the clock, because I've actually never clocked it, these different ready positions, to see what they are. If you notice, if you can come on in here or take a look at this target's already shot up. I just got done with a class this last weekend. We ended using this target. So this target right here, number one, right? It's one of our new Defenders USA signature targets. Go buy them. You can buy them on our website or at multidrilltargets.com. But anyways, this one right here is already shot up. So I'm gonna shoot at the 3 or the 4B8 that's up here as we do this. And we're just gonna put on a clock and see, what does the clock say? Now there's some artificiality here. And what bothers me with this is I know I'm shooting at a piece of paper, okay? This is not Mr. Bad Guy who's here to kill me, rape me, steal me, do bad things to me or those I love. Therefore, I have no adrenal dump. I have no hard muscular tension the way you would if you had to use this for real, okay? So if I'm scanning here on the beep as we do this and going like this, I'm probably not gonna overcorrect and go beyond because I don't have all those things flowing through my system, right? So I would tell you, though, we're going to put on the clock, there's some artificiality, but I can tell you from experience, okay, from real experience, when I was taught this and I was out here doing this and I saw something over there that I thought, uh-oh, was a bad thing, it was coming over and overcorrecting beyond the target. That's where I decided for me to get rid of it, and it's now something I no longer teach in my courses. Caveat to that, there is a time and a place. I'll do another video on it, but it's a rarity, okay? So let's go give this a try. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna work on a high compress ready, a low compress ready, a low ready, and then the whole swingy thing, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and go hot, all right? I've got a randomized shot clock here on my Shooter's Global. Once I hit the beep, it goes off somewhere between 1 and 4 seconds, so I can't really game it, okay? And we're just gonna look at the average. I'll do a couple of either thing. I'm gonna be, if you'll stay right there for me, I'm gonna be, let's say I shoot at the 3, all right? So I'm gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's say I'm like 5-ish yards. You know what? Let's go a little bit further. Let's go about 7 yards right here, okay? So I'll be about this distance, and it looks to me like the target is still in the camera view so you can see it. And then we'll walk it in just to see what the shots are. Not that I'm worried about the shots. I'm worried about accuracy generally, which I'll tell you, but I'm also worried about what the clock tells us on time, okay? All right, so I'm gonna start with the low ready, which is probably the most common and most popular, right, of people doing this, okay? I see it in a lot of gun courses I go to where people, they go bang, 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 and they come to the low ready, or they tell you to start at the low ready, so you start right here, okay? I would tell you that's usually because it's a single target engagement and you're not worried about anything else around, okay? If you're worried about other stuff, that long out there reach ready position, I would tell you is a bad idea. All right, okay, so but we're gonna start there, and I would tell you it's the most efficient on the clock. Let's find out. Let's do it, say 3 times. Check my dot. All right, so here we go. On the beep, I'm simply gonna fire. Okay, so that was a solid good shot. That was 0.59, so slightly less or slightly more than a half second. Let's do it again. Okay, very good shot. A 0.51, 0.51, so about half second. Let's do it again. Okay, excellent shot. A 0.42, a 0.42. Now in each case, as I did this, my muzzle was truly below, about this far to this far-ish, below where the theoretical toes of that guy would be, that bad guy, okay? So could we say we're averaging about a half second? All right, so now let's look at what I call the high compressed ready, okay? So I'm starting here, and on the beep, I'm simply driving and shoot. Now I wanna go this way too, so you can see my finger. I'm not on the trigger, I'm high up against this slide. So as I drive, I'm simply gonna drive and touch the trigger as I do so, but I'm not touching the trigger until I go, all right? All right, so here we go. Okay, on the beep, stand by. Okay, good shot. 0.76, 0.76. So 3/4 of a second versus a half second. Here we go. Okay, good shot. 0.67, 0.67. All I did was look for the flash of my optic or my dot. By the way, I'm shooting an HK VP9. I've got a Hollison 509 or 507 comp on here because it's my competition gun. I'm getting ready to go do a competition. Let's do it one more time. Okay, good shot, a 0.70. Okay, so could we say that on those three, we're about 0.20 to 0.250, slightly slower than the other. You know what it also does on the street? It gives me more time to decide to act to whatever else. But it also, more importantly than that, okay, it keeps me here so that if I'm not just going to that bad guy, but maybe it's over here, or maybe it's over there, I can drive this way more than be out here to swing. I think that's an important component. All right, so now let's try the low compressed ready. So I'm gonna be low, the way I kind of did as a cop. Shucks, we did a lot of Sewell stuff and all that, right? But I'm gonna be more low down here as if maybe there's a crowd of people, right? I've been in that situation, you've got a gun out, and then maybe you're coming up. Let's see what that does on the clock. Okay, so here we go. Okay, good shot. 0.72, 0.72, so about the same as the high compressed ready. Okay, good shot. 0.62, so you notice the theme is staying about the same, right? Here we go again. Okay, good shot. 0.63, 0.63. So that might even be ever so slightly faster than the high compressed ready, right? Speed is a thing, okay? So right now, this is the fastest, but I tell you it's only for a single target engagement where you know there's nothing else. This is so far the slowest of the three, barely, but I tell you, it gives you the advantage of being able to do this if you have to a lot easier, or the low compressed, okay? If you're like me, I tend to drop my dot in more than I tend to escalator up, right? If you're like me, I like that dot drop in. That's just me, okay? But if you're more of an escalator person who draws with the escalator and you do this to get there, then maybe the low compressed ready is one you would like better. All right, so now let's try the little swingy thing, the one I absolutely hate. Again, remember there's artificiality because there's no adrenal dump muscular tension. I'm just shooting at a piece of paper, right? So I would tell you it's gonna be a lot more faster and efficient than if it was the adrenal dump of a real street engagement. All right, so here we go. I'll start facing the target. Yeah, let's just work it through. All right, here we go. Okay, so 0.91, 0.91. Okay, so almost a second. Let's do that again. Okay, so 0.90, 0.90. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, good shot. 0.81, 0.81. Okay. Again, I tell you that's artificial. All right, so now let's try an experiment. Let's look at this while I scan my area with what I like, more the slight high compressed ready. Let's see what that does. I'm just curious. I've actually never put this on the clock. Okay, so I knew my bad guy was down there, but I'm looking around. So a 0.82, so by a 1/10 of a second faster, right? Let's try it again. Okay, good shot, 0.86, 0.86. Let's do it one more time. Okay, so 0.78, 0.78. Now, just out of curiosity, let's do the whole thing swingy, or not swinging, but from the low compressed. I think it's gonna be about the same. Okay, good shot, 0.82. So again, understand, we're mimicking the idea. We just shot this thing. We had to shoot for whatever legal reason. We had to shoot. It was a necessary component. We had to, they had no other choice. But I'm now looking around in case maybe his friends, other dirtbags, decide to pop back up, right? Okay, good shot, 0.83. We're seeing a theme, right? Okay, here we go one more time. Okay, so that was a good shot. Let's take a look on the clock. So a 0.86. All right, last but not least, because I haven't done it. Well, we did do the whole swingy swingy thing. Let's try it one more time. Let's just see, right? Maybe I'm wrong with it. And I'm gonna really try to look around me in a 360-degree environment, right? I'll probably keep my gun generally towards the target, but I'm gonna swing it the way I see too many people do. Let's see what that truly does. Because when I did it before, I was really only looking about here and here and slightly glancing back. Let's truly look around the way I was doing on the last couple. Here we go. And I shot horribly. Let's not look at that shot. It's like instead of up here, it's like way low, right? Like way low. That's awful. Now, I won't say it on camera, but usually when people shoot really low like that on a target in my classes, you know what? Let's not say that. This is the internet. All right, here we go. Let's do it again. Okay. Even on that one, I had adrenal dump as I went to it. I went beyond my target and I had to bring it back to shoot it. And that's without the stress of a real fight. That was a 105. 105. So far already the slowest, right? Let's do it again. Whoa. Good shot. 0.77. 0.77. Okay, so I negate my last point. All right. Anyways, here's what I'm finding for me. And I recommend this strongly in my classes. Please don't be that dude or dudette who puts your gun out here and swings it around at the ready position like this. Please don't be that guy, right? Be that girl. If you're gonna do that, come in so you can punch drive if you need to, right? Whether it's low or high. If it's a single target engagement, hey, and you know there's nothing else, or maybe you got other buddies who are there, especially you cops, right? You soldiers, you got other buddies that can cover you. And by the way, as a cop, you should have two. If you put a gun on somebody, you should probably have 2 lethal guns on that thing, right? That person, okay? Then maybe that low ready until you move up to go hands on to cuff to whatever else. But for you civilians, right? If you're gonna go that low ready because you know there's nothing else here, great. Below their toes where it can't shoot into them, and you have to be considerate of the material below them. If it's asphalt, concrete, hard packed dirt, if you put that gun out here like this and they get lethal again, or you trip, startle, frighten, bounce to the trigger because you haven't learned how to stay off the trigger, you might skip your round into their body or to them that might need medical help, and maybe you hurt them. So you have to be considerate too of the material they're laying on, the ground they're laying on, right? So if you were to go below the toe, say in this case, this is really hard packed dirt. If I was truly to do this right now, and maybe because I have bad finger discipline on my trigger, I bounced to that trigger for whatever reason, I didn't need to shoot them, but I skipped the bullet into them, I'm facing a murder charge, right? Possibly a manslaughter charge, possibly a murder charge, and certainly a heavy time in court. So another thing I advocate, I call it dirtbag ready, all right? Another key thing I advocate is if there's nothing bad over here, but you're truly worried about that single target engagement, maybe just go off to the side. Maybe just go off to the side a little bit. So it's a little bit of movement, right? Or maybe even slightly up a little bit, right? As long as you're not worried about where your bullet's gonna go over there, okay? So this is just me. I think this is going to cause a little butthurtedness, and some people will disagree with what I'm telling you, but that's what I like to see, what bugs me. And I see it taught too often. I see too many students come in, and they come out here, and they scan and assess with their gun out here. This is a ready position, okay? Even after the shooting. I would tell you that's a bad place for you to be. I simply want you to be able to use your gun well and survive the aftermath that comes, right? And this out here may not lend to you well surviving the aftermath, because under that adrenal dump, you rushed into something because you swung it far on the pendulum away from the spine. Where this is close, you can orient towards and drive the gun towards what you need to with much more efficiency, I would tell you, and it's better for you. So my thoughts on this, agree or disagree, I'd love to hear it in the comments. Please subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share. We need all the help we can get on this channel. We want to grow it. There's some decent, good videos, especially our podcast, Defenders Live. It's phenomenal, right? Either on our channel here, Defenders USA, or go to Defenders Live, subscribe there and listen to that stuff. It's incredible, okay? And then we have some pretty good videos, right? I mean, again, it's me, but pretty good videos. I'm trying to talk more of my folks to getting on the camera. Let's see if we can get the smart ones and the good shooters out there. But we could use your presence here. We also do a ton of training classes. I'd love to come to you to train. And I only go where I'm invited. So literally from Timbuktu to Maine to California to wherever it is I go. If you invite me on out, we can get enough people to make it worthwhile. I'd love to do that with you. Just for giggles, let's go take a look at the shots. Got it? So remember, all these shots were there. Okay, these are all the shots I took. Ah, I missed one right there. Oh, don't look at that guy. The worst one was the one down here. Right, swinging the whole gun and everything. So terrible shots, but there's the rest of them. Could we say this right there? All right, so we got the bullet there. Is it not still the Lord's work? Okay, we got a bullet here. Is that possibly still not the Lord's work, right? But I want them there, so these two guys, let's pretend like they didn't happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Winch, Defenders USA. Oh, hit the like button.